All right, gentlemen, here we are. Yes, look at this set. It's amazing. Does this give you any kind of a clue what we're doing? I mean, the red shirt, the XOXO's up there, the Valentine's Day tree. Yes, we have a Valentine's Day tree. Who does that? And actually, I can give a shout out to Brianna in our office here. She is amazingly creative and came up with this Valentine's Day tree, which I really like. It's kind of cool. So we're going to be talking a little bit about gift giving tonight, because that kind of goes hand in hand with Valentine's Day, right? Interesting thing about Valentine's Day, they say that's one of the days where you see most breakups happening, right? And I can see that. I can see that if your relationship is in any kind of trouble, that it's going to be magnified around this time, right? Because you're supposed to be in love. You're supposed to have all this. If you don't, then, yeah. I get that. But anyways, I'm ahead of myself. Thank you guys for joining our webinar tonight. My name is John Adams. I am a co-founder of A Foreign Affair in our 26th year now of bringing singles together from all around the globe for happy, long-lasting relationships, we hope, such as mine. I was lucky enough to meet my wonderful wife, Tanya, 24 years ago. Oh my gosh, yeah, testament to my gray hair. But I got lucky enough to meet Tanya at one of our socials in St. Petersburg, Russia 24 years ago. And ever since then, well, even a little bit before then, we've been helping people to do the same. So we're going to be talking tonight about all things international dating. Guys, you could ask questions and do all that great stuff. I'm more than happy to take your questions tonight because this show is about you, after all. We've been doing some kind of a forum here every Monday night for the past 20-some years. Started on the telephone, and now we're doing it on these webinars, and it's great. And so this is your opportunity to get on there and ask questions, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Yes, I know you were probably hoping to see someone much better looking than myself on the show tonight, like Dina or Anna or one of those wonderful women, but we still are dealing with our COVID issues here. Even had some issues here last week when we went with some of our not so live. So this week I am back, and hopefully we'll get Dina back here and Anna soon, and they can assist, or they can actually do the show. But until then, you're stuck with me. But I'll try to make it interesting. You know, I had half a Mountain Dew, and for those of you that know me at all, that means that sooner or later someone's going to have to slap me because I'm going to be talking too much. We're going to be going crazy. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this wonderful set. I got candy, I got balloons, I got the Valentine's Day tree, I got the XOs ahead of me or above me. And this means that next Sunday is Valentine's Day. So we're having our Valentine's Day show this Monday night this Monday night, because this will be the last chance I get to talk to you before Valentine's Day. I think Ron and Lou's going to be doing something special for Valentine's Day on Wednesday as well. That's our holiday, right? That's, a Foreign Affairs big company holiday, Valentine's Day. So we're going to have a big party on Friday and celebrate Valentine's Day, because that's what we do all year round, is we try to get Cupid, going, international Cupid, on steroids, and get him out there shooting those arrows and trying to find love in all the right places, okay? And wherever those places are, whether it's in the Philippines or China or the Ukraine or Costa Rica or Colombia. Speaking of Colombia, by the way, I want to give a huge shout out to our staff down there in Colombia, who just successfully conducted a couple of tours. One last week in Barranquilla, and this week the Cartagena tour is still in progress. They did their socials over the weekend, and last weekend they did the socials in Barranquilla. So woohoo, congratulations. They got socials going again, and they've got the masks on, and they're doing all the temperature taking and making sure everyone's as safe as possible. But they're doing it again. That's the first ones that we've done since March. Woohoo. Because if anyone knows me very well, they know that I'm not about the letter writing. I'm not about sitting there writing letters forever on the site. I'm not about even doing the phone calls or the Skypes. I'm about getting offline, going over and meeting these women in person. That's what this is about. If you're ever going to be successful, and I've been saying this for 26 years, you're not going to do it by writing letters. You're not going to do it by being a virtual keyboard Romeo. You're not going to do it by doing chat on other sites. You don't even see on Love Me where we even do chat. That's just not going to happen. The only way you're going to make it happen with a real live breathing individual is to go over and do one of these tours, or go over individually with us and let our office staff assist you in one-on-one introductions, which you'll get as well on a group tour. But that's the only way it's going to happen. And you know, we haven't been able to do the seminars where I get up and pontificate for 4 hours about how great these tours are, because they really are, and I totally believe in them. And I haven't had the opportunity to go to Dallas or Houston or New York or LA, San Francisco, Chicago, Cleveland, all the places that we go every year. And we do these seminars and we talk to you guys. But, these vaccines are getting out. And sooner or later, we're going to start that circuit again with these seminars and start getting you guys going over there and just experiencing this whole thing. It's so cool. Again, I am digressing here, so I just wanted to give a shout out to Maria, Patricio, all the staff out there in Barranquilla and in Cartagena that just were able to successfully do these tours. So congratulations, guys. That's fantastic. Now, we do have some coming up in March now. February, that's it for February, but in March with Peru, we're hoping that's going to go, and then with Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, I know we've been getting a lot of calls and interest, but here's what I would tell you guys. And then we have, of course, the April tour coming up in the Ukraine. If you think that you're going to go on this tour, you need to get your reservation in as soon as possible, because we're only going to accept a certain number of men, because we can't have the large groups that we normally do with these group tours. So they're going to be a little bit smaller. There's still going to be an amazing ratios of women to men and all that stuff going on. But we just can't take as many men as we usually do. So they will tend to fill up this year a lot quicker than they normally do. And even in years past, we sell out certain tours. But normally we have a little larger capacity, especially when we go to the Ukraine and whatnot. But this year we don't have that capacity. So I was just talking to a gentleman today who was thinking about going. He's going to wait till April to put this deposit on. I told him that'd be too late by then. That tour will definitely be sold out. It's almost sold out now. So if this is something you're thinking of doing, please do it now, because I don't want you to come to me right before the tour and want to go, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry, you can't go because it's sold out. And that will happen, I'm sure. So watch that, okay, guys? All right. Tonight's show is about gift giving. Have you ever given a gift that you regret it, right? You give that gift, you think it's a great idea, and then no, not so much. It just kind of backfired on you. Didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. That ever happened to you? I'd love to hear about it tonight. So if you've ever had that experience where you gave a gift and it just didn't work out, or you really regretted doing it, let us know about it, sure, with us, because that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Because, guys, there's good gifts and there's not so good gifts. There's appropriate gifts and there's inappropriate gifts. And, it's not so hard, but sometimes you're in the middle of it, it's kind of hard to see. I think it's good to give gifts. I do. But they have to be appropriate, and they got to be given without the expectation of you buying your way in, okay? Because you can't buy your way in to a real relationship. You can't buy your way in to love. You can't buy your way into trust. You can't buy your way into all those things. You may think you can, right? Well, I'll get this and I'll buy her a phone and I'll buy her a great coat and I'll buy her a house and I'll buy her all this stuff, and then she'll love me because I'm buying her all that stuff. No, she won't love you. Not only will she not love you, but she'll lose respect for you as well, because, women aren't stupid. And they know what you're doing. They may let you do it, but they know what you're doing. And in the end, it's not going to end well for either of you. So for 26 years, I've been saying this, that, you can't buy your way in. I don't think it's a wise thing to do. Now, yes, you can, and I think you should give gifts, but appropriate gifts. Gifts that show that you're thinking about them. Gifts that show that you care, but not gifts that make them feel indebted to you. Does that make sense? Do you understand where I'm trying to go with that? There's appropriate and inappropriate. Let's take these balloons here, okay? I've got 2 balloons on the set here, right? One of these balloons is totally appropriate, right? So you can give this balloon to anyone you want. Happy Valentine's Day. You just met her. That's fine. Give her a Happy Valentine's Day balloon. Nothing wrong with that. This balloon over here says, I love you. You don't want to be giving this balloon away too freely, right? Appropriate, not so appropriate, depending on the circumstance. And that's how these things work. They always work this way. Okay, back balloon, stay where you are. Okay. Sorry, I had the balloon move. Here's another example, a little story I will tell you. I love my brother dearly. My brother is an amazing person. He's probably one of the hardest working people I know, and always just wants a family and children, and that's all he's ever cared about. And he's an executive chef, and if anyone out there knows what it's like to be a chef, you work your butt off, and he does. But recently, we were having a little get-together, and for a belated Christmas present, he gave my wife a pair of pajamas. Now, in the 24 plus years now that I've known my wife, I have never had the courage to buy clothes for her, let alone kind of intimate clothing. There's a reason they call it unspeakables. You just don't do that. And although it was in good faith, it was just kind of funny. It was almost like a gag. Everybody's laughing, and my poor brother's like, "Why is everyone laughing? Why is this so funny?" It's like, because this is not the kind of gift that just, it's just not going to work, right? So when you're given a gift, you want to think about, is it appropriate? Now, once you get to know someone more and more and more, it gets easier and easier, because you can give more things, and it's gonna go over well normally, right? Because you're giving it some thought, and it should be good. It's at the beginning that we're talking about. And some of you guys will give gifts before even meeting a woman, right? There's gifts on our site you can give, which most of those are okay and they're appropriate, and although even then, I'll give you another quick story here, and then we'll get into some of your questions, and we're going to move on. But we had a gentleman, great guy, right? And he wanted to impress this woman that he had not yet met. And he sent her one of the larger packages of roses that you can send. It was 101 roses. I mean, that blew her away. I mean, she got 101 roses, right? That was a statement, and she loved it and thought it was amazing. No one's ever given her a gift like that before. And that was okay, right? But then the next week, he did it again. And she's like, okay, this is, and then he did it again. And now she's starting to think, okay, with the money he's spending on his gifts, I could be using this to live for a month, or I could be doing this, or I could be doing that. And why is he doing this? And then she started getting worried and questioning what was going on. And it was too much. It was just too much. And he was overwhelming her, and he scared her away. And I think what he was trying to do was just to kind of just push himself in there. And yeah, he had plenty of money. So the money he was spending was pretty much inconsequential to him. But to her, it was a huge deal. And guys, you got to think about that too. Because, sometimes some of these women that we're dating, whether it's here in the United States or somewhere else, there may be an inequality in the income, and you don't want to use that leverage that you have to, again, like make her feel indebted, or like you're trying to buy something, right? When I was dating Tanya, I at first, Tanya's listening, she's probably like, you cheap, yeah. But I didn't do a lot of gifts, right? I was not buying phones or clothing or all that stuff for the first 6 months. But I would do really thoughtful things, if you're listening, Tanya. I'm trying to get myself back in here. But I did. I mean, thoughtful gifts. Like, I don't know, arranging an amazing dinner with some of her friends as a surprise, or I don't know, just really thoughtful, not expensive things, but thoughtful things. And to me, guys, that's more important. Like if you know someone that you've been writing, let's say, back and forth, maybe instead of sending her something really expensive, maybe, try writing her a poem, like a really nice poem, and try put it in her language. I did that, and I must have gotten some points for it, because Tanya's still with me. I don't know, it's just stuff that to me means more than just a stinking expensive watch. Anybody can go buy something at the store, but it's when you give it a lot of thought and you really think about something that is going to impress that woman, to me it makes a big difference. And it's more fun. It's just fun to see her face. Sometimes like our recent, what was it? Some holiday I tried to go all out, and it just kind of fell flat. It just didn't work. And I was really trying, but it just didn't. Oh, it was New Year's Eve, because we couldn't do our regular New Year's thing. And so I tried to do something a little different, and it didn't work so well. But then the next night we just chilled and had a wonderful time. So it's just funny how this whole gift giving thing works. Gift giving, it's important. It's part of the relationship, but it has to be done right and appropriately. All right. Well, Dave says regarding, I knew you guys would have fun with this. Dave says, regarding the poll question, does giving the ex a ring count? Yeah, okay, no. That's the engagement ring, that's the wedding ring, then it doesn't work out, and you don't want to regret that, okay? Because there's always something good that's going to come out. Even of a failed marriage, there's always going to be something positive there. So I'm not talking about that. That wasn't a gift. That was like a promise. That was a covenant. And unfortunately, that covenant just didn't work. But that's not what I'm talking about here today. But good try. I like that. That's funny. Bob says, when would it be a good time to give a girl a corsage? A gift can only be given if you truly know the person. Well, a good time to give a girl a corsage would be at the prom. No, I'm just kidding. You can give a girl a corsage anytime you want. I mean, if you're going to go out, I would do it when you're going out someplace nice, special occasion, right? You can give her a nice corsage. She's going to go out. But that's usually meant for a formal event, something nice like that. I don't agree with you, Bob, that a gift can only be given if you truly know the person. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's true. Valentine's Day coming up, if you see a woman on the site that you really like, there's really nothing wrong with just sending her some flowers just to kind of wow her, and then see. And I know I'm always telling you guys you need to go over there, and you do. So you should probably only do that with the intention of at some point going over. And you don't want to start, writing to her forever just because you do that. But imagine, you're on a site like this and you didn't get like an introduction letter or something like that. And you saw her and you sent even a small little thing like a little box of chocolate. I think on our site you can send a box of chocolate like $35. And you just send it to her with a nice little note. She's going to feel special. She's going to feel like, wow, someone cares. And that's kind of cool. So yeah, I think you can send. Now, do you want to send her lingerie and you don't really know her at all? No. Let's stay away from the underwear and stuff like that, right? And maybe when you really get to know her, but even then you got to be careful, I think. Do you want to send her a cell phone? No. I think even when you get to know her, you don't. Do you send money? No. I don't think you should send money. I don't think that's a good idea at all. But when you're there, wherever there is, but let's use the Ukraine now, just because I see the Ukraine video in the background. It's amazing how much time and effort these women put into making themselves look the way they look. Not that they're not naturally beautiful, they are, but they also put a lot of time and effort into doing their hair, finding the right clothing that accentuates the way they look, just trying to make themselves look the best they can in a lot of different ways. And they revel in the fact, they revel in their femininity. They want to be a woman. They want to be appreciated by a man. They really, really do. And when you go there, there's no mistaking that. When you walk down Crescetic, which is the main street there, it's like a fashion show. And these women are walking by and they care about how they look. They really do. And they want to be a woman and they want the man to be a man. And I've said this many times, but it's true. And it's true in a lot of other places we go, in Latin America and Asia. And so there's nothing wrong with honoring her with some kind of a gift, whether, maybe it's even a little small bottle of a little thing of perfume. Maybe it's flowers. Maybe it's chocolates. Maybe it's something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It just shows that, hey, I appreciate who you are. I'm a man. I want to give you a little gift. It's part of the love language, so to speak, right? And so there's nothing wrong with that. There is something wrong, I think, when a woman is asking you for a gift. Oh, it's my birthday next week and I really need the newest iPhone X500 turbocharged that's coming out right now. Yeah, I think that there's a problem there, okay? And I don't think you need to do that. If someone's asking you for a gift, then that to me is a red flag. And I don't think you should do that. But if you, out of a sincere desire to show your appreciation for her as a woman, and just for the things that she does to be a woman. And us being men, we have no idea how difficult it is to be a woman. They go through a lot that we'll never know about. But then, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you understand the distinction, right? Right. Let's keep going to some of these questions here. Ryan says, hello, good evening, my virtual friends. Good evening, Ryan. Blue says, good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Yes, Blue. We're into February. All right. And guys, I have, talk about February. Yeah, you pretty much probably have to worry about Valentine's Day. But I have a week of gift giving I got to deal with because I have Valentine's Day. And then a couple days after that, I have my wife's birthday. And then a couple days after that, we have our anniversary. So it's like being in a boxing match. Boom, boom, boom. So, we have a lot going on. But, we are. I think we're coming up on our 22nd year anniversary. And we met like 24 years ago this summer at that social in St. Petersburg. It's amazing. I can't tell you just how that changed my life. I mean, just by being at that social, just by bumping into Tanya at that social, changed my life. And yes, for those of you that heard the story, it took a lot of champagne to convince her. So thank God that we have champagne at the socials. But it's amazing. All right. And then James said, I'm in Alaska, 80 miles above the Arctic Circle, so it's cold. Well, James, we're in Phoenix, and it's not. It's actually like 75 degrees today. Daniel wants to know, will socials resume in the Ukraine? Daniel, my best answer to that question is, God, I hope so. I really hope so. And I think they're going to. I think in April, we are gearing up to be able to do those socials in Kyiv and Kharkov, and then over to Dnipro and Zaporozhye. I'm going back and forth with our staff, and I'll be on calls a lot tomorrow with them, but it looks like we're going to be able to do that. And there's a lot that goes into it. Like I said, we just did the ones in Colombia. So as long as we can abide by whatever the rules and protocols du jour are in the Ukraine, then we'll do it. And if for whatever reason we can't, then we're not going to be able to do it. But I'm keeping both fingers crossed that that's going to happen. Okay. All right. Blue says, the only gifts I regret giving are those that were not appreciated. Boom. Love that answer, Blue. That hands down. Drop the mic, walk away. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're done. Because that's all about appreciation, isn't it? Isn't it? And guys, think about it. What happens when you try to buy your way in, especially early on, right? First date, second date, you're buying the iPhone, you're buying the tablet, you're buying the fanciest restaurant meal for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. What happens on the next date? Was that really appreciated? Or, well, what's next? Well, what are you going to get me now? Right? I mean, that's where it goes, doesn't it? And what are you going to do next? What's the next trick? What are you going to do now? You don't want to live like that. My God forbid you get married to someone like that. I mean, you're constantly going to have to keep her happy and lavish her in presents and gifts just because she's married to you? Do you want that? I don't want that. I want someone who's going to appreciate me. And if I do give something because I want to show her that I appreciate her, that she appreciates me back for doing it. Guess what that is? That's reciprocal giving. That's a feeling of give and take. It comes and goes. It comes and goes like that. That's what you want. You don't want it to be one-sided all the time. So what Blue just said there, I totally can relate with. And thank God that my wife, I think, has appreciated everything that I've ever given her, whether it was the stupidest thing in the world. And okay, yeah, I've given some pretty stupid things, and I've done some kind of not so smart things. But you know what? She appreciates it in the spirit in which it was given. May not have worked out well, but she appreciated it. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have. All right. Okay. Kishore? Is it Kishore? What are the first 5 steps I need to take for a Euro Club? What are the first 5 steps I need to take for a Euro Club? Well, I'm not sure there's just 5 steps or even 5 steps. So let's think about this. It's not that difficult. I mean, you need to, first of all, decide what city you want to go to. Okay, whether that's Kiev or Odessa or Kharkov or Nikolaev, Kherson, wherever you want to go for your Euro Club. And then you go on the site and you fill out the registration form, and then it'll take you to a credit card page where you pay for it. You could either put down a deposit and then pay the balance before you go over, or just pay for it in full. It's about $1,095, I think, for the Euro Club. Then you send us, you fill out, there's going to be more information about you so that our staff can get a better idea of who you are. So you fill out that kind of personal information, upload a few more photos so they get a better idea of who you are so they can relay that to the women that you think you want to meet. Then you give us a list of, say, 25 to 30 different women that you think you would like to meet when you get there. And then you give us your airline information, your agenda, our itinerary, so that we can have someone at the airport to pick you up. And then you'll get some more information of what to bring, what not to bring, and all that good stuff. And you'll have to fill out some paperwork with us. But then you'll be ready to go over. Then you go over, and then the staff will get to know you, and they'll start doing up to 3 introductions a day for you every day, whether you pick a 7, 10, or 14-day duration. And the staff, once they get to know you a little bit, will start to make recommendations for you, because now they know you a little bit. Well, they know many of the women that are in the area there, and they can start saying, okay, you know what, this woman might be good for you, or this woman might be a good match for you. And they'll show you her profile, and if you think so, then they'll set it up for you. And that's it. I mean, it's not difficult. And if you need more advice on how to get going on that Euro Club, feel free to call into us, talk to Michelle, myself, Ganna. Any of us can assist you, Anna. And Anna's the one that actually will be working with you and setting everything up for you. You can email her at travel@lovememail.com. It's travel@lovememail.com, and she will help you with that. Okay? So, yeah. All right. So let's see. What else we have here? Jose says, no, I only regret that I didn't write back to her when she got the gift. I just didn't think she was real. This was 2 years ago, and I regretted that ever since. Well, that's a bummer. Well, she got the gift. I mean, she must have been real. So, yeah, you should have followed up on that. And that's one thing, too, guys, when you think about it. It's that thing, and I say this at the beginning of every seminar I do, that we're going to regret the things that we didn't do much more than the ones that we did do. Okay? That's Mark Twain, by the way. There's a little bit more to that quote, but I won't go into it because everybody's looking at me like, not again, John, you're saying that again? Yes, I'm saying it again. And the reason I'm saying it again is because it's relevant here, and I think it resonates really well with what we're doing here, because, like Jose just said, I regret it not following up on that, whether it was writing her or going over and seeing her, whatever it was. He just didn't follow up. And so he's regretting that 2 years later. Now, if he would have followed up and it didn't go through, okay, I don't think he'd be saying, oh, I regretted that I gave this woman a gift and I followed up and it just, wasn't right or didn't work out or whatever happened. That's not going to be a huge regret. But the regret of the unknown, the regret of, oh, I didn't do it. Oh, what would have happened if? That's the regret that will haunt you. And that's the one that I'm trying to get you guys not to have, and trying to get you guys to go on this tour or go individually on the Euro Club or whatever it is and just experience it, because then you won't have that. Now, maybe you'll go over and you'll just have a terrible time. Maybe it's just that all these videos and everybody's smiling, that just isn't you, and you just, I don't know, for some reason, it just doesn't work for you. Okay. But you know what? At least you did it, and you knew that, okay, this wasn't for me. And you're not going to be thinking for the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years, oh, what if? What if I would have done that? And let me tell you, there are guys that come to me 10, 15, 20, 25 years later after they saw this opportunity, telling me that, oh, I wish I would have done this. Oh, I wish I would have gone. I think about this all the time, but I just didn't do it because of X, because of Y. Yeah, this happens all the time. So don't be one of those guys. It's not hard. You just go. I know that sounds simple, but it really isn't that hard. It's about the same cost, if not less, than a regular vacation, guys. It really isn't that expensive. And for everything you get, it's way less expensive than dating here, especially if you're using like a matchmaking service, like a domestic personalized matchmaking service. Oh my gosh. Most of those services won't even look at you for less than $5,000 to start, just for a few introductions. You're getting a whole vacation out of that for less than that. So come on, guys. Think about it. All right. See, I shouldn't have drank that extra sip of Mountain Dew. Kirk, you're going to have to hit me here pretty soon. You got to get me moving faster. All right. John, this is from James. Hi, John. Like the shirt. You like this? Tanya gets mad at me sometimes when I wear these kind of bolder colors. I like it, like bright orange, bright red. I look like a pumpkin around Halloween time. But, I enjoy it, so thank you. I take that to heart. I appreciate that. I'm gonna tell Tanya that someone complimented me on this shirt. She's gonna, yeah. All right, I like the shirt. I was wondering, when do you suggest when to come over for a tour? Like 1 or 2 days ahead? Should I leave a day or two after? James, it depends on how you handle jet lag. Like if you're going far, far away, like maybe Philippines or Ukraine, you might want to get there a day early to just give yourself a chance to reset and get used to everything before we start throwing all these women at you and hit the Valentine's Day tree. But I think it's okay. We're going to live. To give yourself a chance to reset and all that. So that's a good thing. I wouldn't get there like 2 or 3 days early because the tour hasn't started yet, and so they're not really going to, they're getting busy with the preparations for the tour and everything, so it's going to be difficult to do dates and stuff like that. Plus, since the tour hasn't started yet, they're probably going to charge you for it, so why would you do that? So don't get there too early, maybe a day to get over the jet lag, but if you can stay a day, 2, 3, a week, a month after the tour ends, I highly recommend that. Why? Well, you just had the opportunity to meet all these different women, and you're not going to want to leave. No one really ever does. I mean, there's some guys that can manage to have a bad time. But the vast majority of men never want to leave. And once they leave, what do they want? They want to go right back. I mean, and that's just how it is. And so if you can stay longer, all it is extra hotel nights. And our staff is still there, so you're not going to be alone. If you need help, they'll help you. But you've met so many women during your stay, James, that they're going to, be there, and you're going to be dating them and whatnot. And yeah, the staff is there to help you if you need it, but you probably won't need much of their assistance anymore because of all the work that they did during their tour. See how this works? It's so cool. On the last tour I did to Thailand, I think every guy extended his stay. No one wanted to leave. They're all, I'm not going. You going? No, I'm not going. And they all stayed. But a lot of them had to change their airfare, and they had to pay like a $250, $300 change fee to stay. Don't do that. If you can help it, schedule it for an extra few days or whatever after the tour, and just plan on staying. And then you got more freedom, and you do what you need to do. Okay? Let's see here. Let's keep going. Talk. Okay. Blue says, John, I'm ready to go on a tour. Just get rid of this stupid virus. I'm working on it day and night. I have this little lab in my kitchen, and I'm making these little things. And, I had one that I thought was going to work. Oh. No, I'm just kidding. I hear you. We got to get rid of this virus. We're going to get rid of this virus, Blue. Sooner or later, it's going to go. All right. Sure can't go wrong with the earrings. I like earrings as a gift. Earrings are nice. Now, we don't have to go with a 1 carat diamond earring, okay? But just some nice little pretty earrings. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's good. Like it. Richard, how are you, Richard? I wonder if you're still in the Philippines. You need to type back and let me know where you are right now, Richard. But Richard says, good evening, everyone. John, I hope you and your family are doing well. And somewhere here, Richard said, well, I'll have to find it. But he said something like, well, I'll find it. All right. Ryan says, Ryan, you need to call me about this AFA thing with the credit card. Just call me and I'll be happy to talk to you about that. And Patrick says, hi, John, love the show. How would I go about meeting a woman in Mexico City or Cancun? Does AFA have an office in these cities? Just let us know, Patrick, when you're getting ready to go over, and then we will put you in touch with the affiliate there. We do have an affiliate office there, and they will do the introduction just like we do anywhere else. And they will assist you with that. So that is not a problem at all. All right. Let's see here. Patrick says, answer to your poll question. I did not give a gift that I regret. I would like to ask a question. What happened to Bob, who used to do some of the shows? Oh my gosh, Bob's doing great, but I think he's moved down to Florida and just doing all kinds of other things. But Bob never really did, I guess maybe he did the show, but this was like years and years ago, when he was helping with the show, quite some time ago. Okay. Daniel says, when is your next tour to Colombia? I see most pastors have been canceled due to COVID. Yes, they have, but we're trying to get them going again here. And I would say the next one to Colombia is going to be in April. We have a tour to Medellin, April 22nd. But again, guys, if you are thinking about doing that April 22nd tour to Colombia, to Medellin, you've got to get in your reservation quickly, because the one that we were supposed to do in January, we had to cancel because they changed the protocol like a week before the tour was going to go, which made it impossible to do. So we had to cancel it. So there's a lot of pent-up demand for Medellin, and we're only going to take a limited number of men. So if you think you want to do that tour to Medellin, please get on that. Get your reservation, at least your $475 deposit in as soon as possible, or you're probably not going to be able to get on that one. I mean, there is going to be another one after that to Cartagena, June 24th, but that would be the next one going to Colombia. Okay. Okay, and that was Daniel. And let's see. Chet says, hi, John. Regarding translated phone calls to ladies in the Ukraine through Dina, how far ahead should I anticipate making an appointment? I have a lady interested in having a conversation. I'm curious about the lead time for an appointment. You know, Chet, normally, if you give us about 48 hours lead time, they can set it up as long as the woman's schedule accommodates, and yours as well, obviously. But I would maybe give about 3 days of notice so that we make sure we can set everybody's schedule up and make that call happen for you. Okay. And Richard, hold on one second. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. This screen kind of moves on me all the time, and I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, but it seems... all right. Richard, I'm still in Cebu, and not only Valentine's, but my wife's birthday in March. Cool. All right, Richard, still in Cebu. So Richard's been there for like a year almost now. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Richard. That's wonderful. Chris says, plan on doing a social, guys. Check out the low prices on flights. I was surprised at how reasonable they are. Yeah, Chris is saying that, and that's absolutely true, Chris. I mean, the prices on flights right now, amazingly inexpensive, which is a great opportunity to get over there and visit someone. Richard says, without AFA, I would not have my wife and my best friend. Well, woohoo! Thank you, Richard. That's wonderful. And I am glad that you met her there in the Philippines. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Let's see. Boyd says, if my girl has a good internet connection from her house in Davao, can we Skype with her? Thanks. I think so. I think that they can work that out, Boyd. Absolutely. So just try to get with Dina, and she should be able to work that out for you. All right, and then Edward says, for the upcoming April tour to Ukraine, are there mask mandates in certain Ukraine cities and early closures of restaurants we would need to know about? So if the city is shut down at 10 p.m., are there late night locales we can still go to on dates in Ukraine? And what flights and airlines do you recommend between the U.S. and Ukraine? Can we get letter credits to tell the ladies I'm coming to visit? Valentine's Day gift, a box of candy. Actually, if you're going to send Valentine's Day gifts, you can, I think it's, if you send a certain amount, I forget exactly what it is, but you can get a free 10-minute phone call to the woman, which is nice. So then you can call her with Dina and do a three-way call and let her know that you're coming. So that's a good thing. If you sign up for the tour, we do give you free credits, so you let the women know that they're coming. So you can get that, but you have to sign up for the tour for that. So you can do all that, Edward. Just call Michelle. She can give you the lowdown of exactly how that works. And yes, I believe that there are going to be mask mandates, so that when people are coming in and out of the socials, you have to wear masks. When you're during the social, you're eating, I don't think you will have to. But again, if you're not eating, yes, you're going to have to, I think, wear masks. And if there are shutdowns at 10 p.m. and things like that, when we are going over in April, they'll let you know if there's any locales that are open. after 10 p.m., but there may not be. That's the whole thing. Going over in April, it's going to be different than our normal tours. There's going to be some restrictions that you're going to have to deal with going over there if you decide to go in April. So just understand that, and we'll go over that, and we'll try to tell you as much as we know and what to expect and the risks and everything involved if you want to go. We have a whole sheet for that we're going to go over. Oh, McKissick says, Buenas noches, mi amigos. Very nice. Sly says, I've never regretted giving a gift. Best intentions were always intended. It's cool, Sly. That's great. I'm glad. I can't think of really one that I regret giving. I mean, there's some that didn't go so well. It was good intentions, but maybe I regret that I did it because it didn't work well, but it wasn't that, the person that I was giving it to did not appreciate it. Mark says, hello, John. Sorry I'm late. I love watching your webcast. Well, Mark, thank you. Better late than never. It's okay. Let's see. Eric got back from Barranquilla a few weeks ago. Hooked up with a girl from a previous AFA tour. We went to Santa Marta. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Santa Marta is not that far from Barranquilla. Fantastic, Eric. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And hopefully all the travel and everything went well. I know it's one thing that guys are concerned about too, with COVID and with the restrictions now. I mean, going over, you have to take a COVID test, right? And show that to the country you're going into. But then even coming back now, it appears that you're going to have to take a COVID test and show that to get back. And I know that is a little, scary because you don't want to get stuck someplace forever. And I understand that. So these are all things that you need to really look into and understand right now in the age of COVID where we're at. Travel is a little challenging, but we've had a lot of guys that have been able to do it, like Eric, like others that have gone to the Ukraine, to Colombia, to Costa Rica, to other places. So, it is possible, but you have to be a little more flexible and have a little more time. I mean, if you're going and if your job tells you that, well, if you take this time off and if you're 1 day late, we're going to fire you. Well, you might want to think twice about going because there's a possibility that flights get delayed a lot more now because of this stuff. And, God forbid, if you do happen to contract COVID abroad, then, that's a whole nother issue that we got to deal with. So just think about that. Okay. Let's see here. Scott says, curious. How firm are the Europe dates for this year? Are they looking good? Have you nailed down the COVID-related travel issues? Service has already been asked. Well, we just talked about that. And, the dates are firm. I mean, we're going to do those dates if we can do them. So they're there, and we hope to be able to do all those dates. But we're kind of at the mercy of COVID and protocols and requirements that go around COVID. So, for example, we were all set to do the January Medellin tour. That was the first of the 3 back-to-back tours in Colombia. And a week before that tour was set to go, the mayor of Medellin decided to put in some very draconian restrictions, basically making everyone, 8 p.m. on Friday, stay home until, 5 p.m. on Monday. Well, that doesn't work real well for the socials and going out and doing everything that our tour was going to do. So we had to cancel that tour. But then the following week, we were able to do that tour in Barranquilla because the mayor of Barranquilla did not impose the same restrictions as the mayor of Medellin. And we just did the one in Cartagena, again, because those same restrictions were not imposed. So where we can do them, we will do them. But it's important to us that we respect and abide by the regulations that the local governments are imposing, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to keep people safe, and we're not going to say, we don't care, we're just going to go do it. No, that's not what we're about. That's not the right thing to do. So there's a possibility that, in another, month or so, that April tour in the Ukraine, we might say, you know what, given what the government is doing now in the Ukraine, we just can't do it. But if things stay the way they are right now, from what I'm being told by everyone, we should be able to do that tour in April. Now, if something changes between now and then that may change things. Okay? Okay. Okie dokie. What else do we have here? John, is there anything wrong with a box of chocolates and a nice dinner? Absolutely not, Mark. a box of chocolates and a nice dinner. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Or flowers, just something to reinforce the fact that, hey, you know what? You're a wonderful woman. You're beautiful. You do a lot to make yourself. You smell beautiful. All these wonderful things that you do. And I want to show my appreciation in some way. I want to show that I see the beauty in you. I see the love in you. I see these things, and I want to be able to express that in some way. And this is my way of doing it with a box of chocolates or flowers. Or I had one gentleman who, on our site, you could actually send a heater. I didn't know that, but I guess you can send a heater to the Ukraine. And he sent her a heater as a gift. And you know what? That's cool. It wasn't an expensive heater. I think it was under $100. But he sent her a heater, and, he's like, this is to keep you warm until I get there. How nice was that? That's kind of sweet. I mean, there's kind of interesting gifts you go on the site, that are on there that you can give. It's not just the flowers or the candy. But again, it doesn't even have to be a gift, guys, okay? You don't have to just send a gift. I'm not getting here to try to get you to spend money on gifts. Actually, I'm doing the opposite. I'm telling you don't need to spend money. I mean, I took the time once to find a really cool Russian poem, and I translated it into English. So I had both versions, and I put it on this little paper thing, this cloth thing, and I sent that to Tanya. And it was really kind of cool, and I think it impressed her. I think, she at least thought that I took the time to go find a Russian poet and a Russian poem that expressed the way I felt about her, and I gave it to her. I did that once with a whole book of these little Russian poems, and I highlighted the ones that I really thought were special and meant something for us. This is after I knew her for a while. And this whole little book, and I had a Russian-speaking individual, Dina, go through it with me and find the ones that I thought were really special to me and I wanted to highlight, which I did, and then I gave that to her, and I thought that was kind of cool. It didn't really cost anything, but it was a nice gesture, and those are the kind of gifts that will last forever. Those iPhones and those tablets and watches and all that stuff, that's just merchandise. That stuff's going to come, it's going to go. It's going to get dropped, it's going to break, it's going to rot, it's going to rust, it's going to do all those things. But those gifts from the heart, those gifts that really mean something from inside, those will stay forever. I mean, I still, on my desk, and Kirk can attest to this, I have this little stuffed animal that my wife, Tanya, gave to me. Now, she told me, whether or not I believe her is a whole other story, but she told me that she made it by hand. She knitted this thing, this little stuffed animal, and Ken brought it back from Russia on one of the trips. This was even before we were married. So this is more than 24 years ago. And I have it on my desk, still, 24 years later. And it still is in good a shape as it was when she gave it to me. I cherish it because she made it. At least she said she did. I haven't seen her make a lot of other things. So I'm not questioning that, Tanya. I'm sure you made it because you said you did. And I love her for it. And I love it. And it's just this little stuffed animal thing. That's it. I don't know, guys. I mean, I think we overthink things sometimes, and we think we have to come up and beat the next guy and come up with a fancier thing. Now, sometimes, you got to give a gift maybe that, especially after you've known her for a while, maybe she does really need a cell phone or something like that. Okay, well, if you've known her for a while and you really, really have a good relationship going, it's really reciprocal, maybe it's okay to help her do that, maybe. Okay, and that's up to you. You have to make that decision. I am not a big believer in giving expensive gifts like that. I'm really not a big believer in giving money, okay? Because there could be a million reasons why she needs money. Well, my dad needs an operation, my cat just lost a kidney stone, or whatever, okay? There could be, I've heard them all. Believe me, I've heard a million different reasons. And my question always is, what would she have done without you? Would she be dead? Would she be on the street? Would she be totally impoverished if it wasn't for you? Do you really have to take that responsibility of paying for this and that and this and that and that and the other thing? Really? What if you weren't there? So always ask yourself that question, because you should only give something when you want to give it, not because you feel responsible and you might lose the relationship if you don't give it. And guys, that's something that you should always ask yourself. Am I doing this because I'm fearful that if I don't, I'll lose the relationship? Because if the answer to that question is yes, then don't do it. 86 the relationship and walk away from it, and you'll find a better one. And I'm dead serious on that. You shouldn't have to give a gift because you're fearful that you're going to lose the relationship. I think that's wrong. That's not the reason for gift giving. And I'm having this conversation because it's Valentine's Day, so I thought it was an interesting time to have it. And I used that term 86 that, and for those of you in the restaurant business, you might know what that means. And I love the etymology of words, basically where words come from, where phrases come from. And that term 86, by the way, is back in the days when you had, well, you still do kind of, but you have like 90 proof alcohol. And when the restaurant ran out of 90 proof alcohol, they went to the 86 proof because they were out of the 90 proof. So in the restaurant business, when you're out of anything now, they just call 86 it, meaning you're out of it. Not that that has anything to do with dating in the slightest. I just thought it was interesting, but probably no one else did, but that's okay. All right. I just got to stop drinking Mountain Dew, Kirk. What's going on? My computer froze. Okay, I can't move this right now, but I can look at these. Bill, oh, there it goes. I think it's going to move now. No? Oh, yes, okay. Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties, but I will get here. Bill says, I have the week of Orthodox Easter off for vacation, as well as the following week. Was thinking of going to Ukraine at that time. The last thing I want to do is have a conflict versus the latest family holiday plans. Any suggestions? Yeah, you got to be careful. I wouldn't go over really that week of Orthodox Easter, especially before Orthodox Easter, because a lot of people might be traveling for Orthodox Easter. So if you go over before Orthodox Easter, you're going to have some issues with some of the women not being able to meet you because they're traveling to different cities or not to celebrate Easter with their family. After Easter, so if you have the week after Easter off, that would be a better time to go because once Easter happens, you don't have like a lot of people celebrating, for days after Easter so much. But days before Easter, I think, is more so. But if you, to be sure, Bill, call in or send an email to travel@lovememail.com and ask Anna that question, and she'll have probably a better answer than I do right now about that. But I would definitely talk to Anna about it and get her input on that, and she'll give you some good advice on that as well. And that's travel@lovememail.com. Just send her that email, and she will answer that question for you. And then Brian wants to know, hey, John, any light at the end of the tunnel as far as Asia is concerned? Well, we're hoping that the April tour to Thailand is going to be a possibility. We're still not sure because it's a little unclear, I think, still on whether or not you have to quarantine for that 14 days and everything. So we're still looking into that, but that would be the only one. The Philippines and China are still kind of in this dark hole. And I don't, the Philippine or the Chinese in China, they're getting ready to celebrate Chinese New Year. So that's happening coming up here in a week or so. So we're going to see how that all goes. And hopefully that won't be a super spreader event because that's a huge, huge holiday for them. And that is the biggest travel time in China. Everyone travels. I mean, it's this huge, huge travel time. So we'll see how that all goes for China. So, but I don't know when China's going to be opened up again to us. And I don't know when the Philippines, maybe there was a little bit of movement for some people. You still kind of got to be registered there or whatnot to be able to come. So that just happened. So I see a little bit of a crack there. So we'll have to see. All right. Chet says, I'm just waiting for COVID to lessen a bit, and then I'm off to Ukraine on the next available social I can make. Fantastic, Chet. Looking forward to that. Ryan says, I'm thinking late April, early May, but I've not pulled the trigger. This COVID thing is crazy with the most scared people running the show, ready to get back to normal. Yeah, I'm with you there, Ryan. I want to get back to normal as soon as possible. Eric says, I urge you guys to book things now. The COVID is wrapping up. Don't be the last one to figure this out. Well, I mean, we do see cases declining in the U.S. Of course, that was kind of, I always thought it was going to be a given because I think that they ramped up after the holidays. And we're seeing now that they're starting to come back down. We'll see what happens after Super Bowl Sunday, if they go back up a little bit now. But hopefully, They stay back down. They were getting, 10% of the population has been vaccinated, I think I just heard on the radio or something like that. 3% twice or something like that. So slowly but surely we're getting there. So you should be making those reservations as soon as possible, because things are going to get busy as soon as things finally do, get back to normal, so to say. I just stick with the gift cards, besides the typical candies, cards, flowers, McKissick says, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Chet says, September might be a safer bet, but the airfare prices will likely also be increasing back to normal about that time as well. Probably, Chet, probably. But that's just the way it is, supply and demand. You know how that goes. McKissick says, yes, years ago I gave my female pupil a suit for graduation and Christmas, and she ended up giving it back to me, which I thought was really rude. Now I just give gift cards. So you gave a female pupil a suit. McKissick. So you gave a student of yours a suit for graduation and Christmas, and she gave it back to you. I wonder if she gave it back to you because she thought maybe getting the gift from you being her instructor was inappropriate, and she was worried about that. I don't know. I don't know why she would have done that. Maybe she wasn't trying to be rude. Maybe that was part of it. I have no idea. Hopefully that was part of it, and she wasn't really just being rude. I don't know. But you're probably right. Gift cards and stuff. Blue says, I'm already signed up for the April tour to Kiev. Good, good. William says, I want to let you know that I'm doing it. I signed up for the Columbia VIP. We'll be home with Maria and going down to Columbia in late April. Woohoo! Good job, William. Congratulations. Yeah, we do have kind of this mini VIP thing that you can do, this program in Columbia. And Maria works with that really, really well. So if that's something anyone's ever interested in, give us a call and we can talk about how that works. It's a fantastic program. And it's mainly for guys who just want to meet women in Colombia. And yeah, Chris is saying, give us an update on airfare. Costa Rica is less than $300 right now, round trip. I'm not sure where that's coming from, what city, but yeah, that's a great deal. $300 round trip. I mean, my gosh. To go to another country. That's amazing. So you can get good deals right now, guys. Absolutely can. All right. Guys, I want to kind of end this. I think it's wonderful that all you guys participate. And, I try to give you straight, honest answers. Sometimes it's probably not sometimes what you want to hear. But I try to give you my insight as much as I can. I've been doing this for 26 years, and I've seen a lot of things, and one of them is the gifts. And sometimes I cringe when I see how much money some guys will give to women they barely know in some cases, and they'll just give them this money. And to me, that reeks of insecurity, desperation, those kind of things, because it's like, hey, well, here, yeah, just love me. Here, take some more, but just love me, please. And I just don't think you need to do that. I really, really don't. This site isn't intended for sugar daddies and things like that. It's intended for real reciprocal love. And hopefully you can find that via the site. It's for fun too, right? It's for enjoyment. It's for all those things. But hopefully you can get love out of it. And you're not going to get that by buying your way in. A gift reflects your care, your thoughtfulness, which is why gifts have value in relationships. And there is a place for them in relationships. There's no doubt about it. But it shows that you care. It feels good. And it makes both of you happy, doesn't it? I mean, whenever I give a gift, I'm always happier, it seems, than the person who gets it. Not because the person who gets it didn't really enjoy it. It's just that I like giving gifts. I like giving things to people, and it makes me feel good. And so to see the surprise on someone's face, to see the smile, to see the fact that they know that some thought went into it, that it wasn't just, oh, here's a card with $100 in it, go buy yourself something. But there was some thought that went into it. That makes me happy. And I enjoy doing that. But I don't do it because I'm afraid that person's not going to like me if I don't do it. I don't do it because I'm trying to manipulate that person in some way, or I'm trying to get something out of it, like I expect something in return. I mean, if I give someone a gift, I'm not waiting to see what that person's going to give me. I don't care if that person ever gives me a gift. I don't even think about it. It's not like I want to see that back. But what I do want to see at least is like some appreciation, some acknowledgement that they received it and that they enjoyed it, a smile, a thank you, something. That I think is important. I've told this story before, and I'll end on this story because we're going over time again, and I get yelled at by the union and everybody else. But there was and still is, a very good friend of mine who used the service and met a woman in the Ukraine, and I was going over, and he gave me kind of a package with little gifts and stuff to bring to her. And so I did. And I met her in the city, and I gave her this gift. And she knew I was coming with this gift, this package, at least, from this gentleman. And she knew that I'd be there in a couple days. So I didn't catch her by surprise or anything. And we met at a cafe, had a cup of coffee with her, gave her the package. And then I waited for something in return for him. And she didn't give me anything. And I said, would you like me to bring back something? I have room in my suitcase. I'm happy to bring back something reasonable. I mean, not like 50 pounds, but something I could bring back to him if you'd like. And she said, no, that's okay. I'll just give him a call. I said, well, don't you want to send back anything? No, that's okay. Maybe write him a card. I'm not going to leave for another day. I can come back and pick it up or something. You can write something. No, it's fine. Don't worry. I'll just give him a call. It's like, oh, okay. And I came back and I said, maybe this woman's not for you. Because you went through all this this thoughtfulness, right? You went through all this trouble to put together all this stuff, the stuff that you knew from your knowledge of this woman, what she would like. And you did all that for her. And she didn't want to take the time to even write a hand note saying, oh, thank you so much for this. Which would have been all, really. That would have been fine. But she didn't even want to do that. And so I advised him against it. I said, I just don't think in the end that you're going to find fulfillment with this woman, that it's going to be a real reciprocal relationship, because in the beginning, it's not starting that way. And guys, let me tell you something. If it's not starting that way in the beginning, it usually doesn't just start getting better in the end. Usually the beginning is when everyone's really, the endorphins are flying like crazy and things are going really, really well. So if it's not going the way you want it to go in the beginning of the relationship, it usually doesn't get a whole lot better as it goes on. Now, sometimes it does. Sometimes there's misunderstandings. Sometimes you get to know each other better, and sometimes it does improve with time. But a lot of times it doesn't. So just keep that in mind. All right. Gentlemen, it's been an honor to be here. Oh, wait, you got a couple more questions. Let me just get to these really fast before I leave here. Jeffrey, what is the status for Kyiv in March? We don't have a Kyiv tour in March, but we do have one in April, and I'm hoping that April one goes. John, is it possible to do a Latin Club individual tour in Peru now or soon? Yes, I do believe it is possible to do that now. But get with travel@lovememail.com, travel@lovememail.com, and she will help you with that. Jeff says, does Colombia have a vaccine policy? You did need to show vaccinations to go in there, and lately they have not been requiring that. But you may need to get one while you're there to come back to the United States, but we can help you with all that. So just call us and we'll take care of that. And Mark says, John, I gave a lady I'm talking to in the Philippines a cake for her birthday just as a way to say happy birthday. That's what I'm talking about. A nice little birthday cake, right? And you maybe have them put some kind of an inscription on there for her so she knows that you're thinking of her, something special. Those kind of things mean way more than something expensive to the right woman. Now, if she doesn't really care about you, then she's going to want the really expensive stuff for money or something like that. And that's all she's really going to care about. But if she really has something for you, then those thoughtful gifts will go a long ways. All right, guys, I really, really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you on every Monday night. I think it's wonderful, and I'm humbled for it. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. It's just wonderful. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you and share this pre-Valentine's Day show. We got the candy and the Valentine's Day tree and the balloons. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Valentine's Day. Tanya and I usually stay at home. Last Valentine's Day, we said, okay, let's try going out to dinner. We never do that on Valentine's Day because it's kind of amateur night out. Everybody in the world's out. Restaurants are busy and usually you don't get that good of service or food. And we tried and it was pretty terrible. I mean, I made reservations like 2 months in advance and no, they're like, Well, what do you mean? You have to wait an extra hour and a half. It's Valentine's Day. Oh my God! But reservation? No, no. So, yeah, we're going to stay home probably and just make a wonderful meal ourselves and have our own little Valentine's Day. But whatever you decide to do, hopefully you do it with someone you love and have a wonderful day and or Valentine's Day and just have fun. And if you don't have that person yet, don't give up. Hopefully you made that New Year's resolution. Hopefully now that we're in February, you're still thinking about that and you make something happen this year. And hopefully we can help you. If not, someone out there can help, but get it done. All right? All right, guys, till next time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.